What's up, guys? So, welcome to JV Level Thinking. We came up with the idea for this podcast like just today. This is pretty crazy. Jesse, you want to talk them through how we came up with this? Because it's kind of all your idea if you think about it.
So we before every JV practice, we either sit in the library or sit just before practice, and we goof around and we call ourselves, or we call what we do JV shenanigans, right?
Big shenanigans.
Kennick has a different name for it. We can't say it.
We can't say it, but there's a different name.
There's a different name.
Yeah.
And before, when we were doing football, Kennick said something, or Dom said something really funny about, our friend Dominic said something really funny about JV level thinking.
Yeah, there's a bunch of freshmen goofing around, led to the whole name of this podcast. He was talking about some freshmen, messing around, as freshmen do, because freshmen are goofballs. I'll put it out there. They're goofballs. Major shenanigans from the freshman class, but hey, we were like that a year ago, so can't really knock us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, every time a freshman goofs around, our friend Dom Devers, friend of the podcast, I'd assume. But yeah, he'd always be like JV level thinking, and we're goofing around. We're at a JV level thinking. It's how we think. That's our thought process. That's how we roll.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am Kennick, son of the beast. Famous Hashmark podcast legend.
FYO.
Yeah, for your information. Jesse, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm just some 6'5" guy with a big mullet.
Yeah, his height's his personality, but we don't talk about that.
But you want to start going in about the JV basketball season?
Yeah, so we got a huge season coming up at the JV2 level for the Alvia Blue Demons basketball team. We are looking pretty good in practice so far. Coach Darren Fisher, new coach on the scene. He's elite. He coached me in 8th grade. Jesse was on that wrestling life, but we converted him to basketball. So hey, we're chilling now.
Yes, sir.
And we got returning legend Tanner TK Kellogg, greatest to ever do it.
But yeah, now with the law enforcement.
Oh yeah, big law enforcement guy. He's still helping out because he's dedicated to the team. I respect that. But yeah, we're looking at a pretty successful JV2 season. Last year it went pretty good. We won a lot of games.
A lot of the same JV1 players did get a lot of playing time on JV2. I think that contributed a lot to our season success.
Yeah,
along with the great that we got.
Yeah, a lot of sophomores and juniors that didn't get playing time, helped us out. And our grade's a pretty like basketball centered grade because they play like travel ball growing up. So that's really been helping us ever since we started playing in like 7th grade.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean I wasn't either. I just kind of showed up in 7th grade and kind of been balling ever since. So
balling ever since.
Yeah, balling since I was born.
We're looking at the new season this year. We're looking at our first game on the 28th.
Yeah.
Monday against Burlington, Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up Varsity Bound here, just so we can get a big overlook at the season. But we do start out against Burlington Notre Dame at home.
At home. That's crazy.
Varsity did beat Burlington Notre Dame last year. That was a huge win. You always got to start out your season with a big win against a big team.
I know that game was absolutely hype.
Yeah, I think it was 57-44. But yeah, that was a good way to start your year, beating a team, such a big school, so far away. Yeah, big win for the boys.
So, and then this is actually our first week of games. Is going to be a 3-week game on Tuesday and Friday. We got games. Tuesday is going to be against Washington.
Yeah, huge game there. These faraway schools, you don't really get to play in like the 2A class. Those games are huge. But
another thing with basketball, it's a lot different from other sports in where you compete, how you compete, and just overall the teams you play. It's a complete different experience than say football, track, or even wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know. Football schools stay good. Like Southeast Polk, they just stay good. Like West Marshall and our in 2A District 7, our district, they just stay good.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy how those football schools can just like keep going. Even like Sigourney Kyoto and their spin back deal. Like it's crazy how they can just keep something like that going and going forever. Like I'm pretty sure I don't know how many state titles they've won, but I know they've at least won some with that spin back system.
Yeah, that spin back system, that really killed us in our JV game against
I
them.
know. It looks like it's easy to stop because you stop it a few times and you're like, how has this won them state titles? But it's crazy. It's crazy once they get it going, you can't stop it.
Yeah, and I think that's more along with like offensive integrity and yeah, how your team plays together, how your team works together.
Yeah.
So after Washington, Friday is gonna be EBF
Huge conference game.
conference game. That's gonna be
That is huge. EBF beat us twice last year, but EBF just graduated their 6'8" senior, Luke Judy, and 1,000-point scorer. And I think it's either Ethan Davis or Kyle Davis, one of the Davis brothers, but both Davis brothers are ballers. I know one of them scored 1,000 points, but he just graduated, so we'll see how that plays out. And losing a big man like Luke Judy is going to affect them because, big men pretty much like run through the offense. You get a big, tall, you get a tall man in the paint, it's pretty easy to rack up the points. EBF won our conference last year after we won back-to-back conference titles. So we're out for revenge this year. That first game, the 2nd of December, is a Friday. It'll be at EBF, so that'll be huge. But yeah, after that, we got Sheraton here in Alvia. That'll be another huge game, but I know we can win that game. When you're on that La Villa Wi-Fi like Jesse, it's bound to happen. La Villa is just a
yeah,
shenanigans town. They're like a JV town, like to Alvia.
it's a JV town, 100%.
Yeah, they're
Uh,
they're on they're on a different level of thinking over there.
Also doesn't help out in the country, and upstairs, farthest away from the router.
Yeah, but hey, you do what you gotta do for the podcast. Know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But yeah, going back to what I was saying, after EBF we face Sheraton.
So
That game will be played at Alvia. Another big conference game. Starting out, I think 4 straight conference games. Yeah, Sheraton. I think we can beat them. We we started our bench guys last year. Our bench seniors, like the goats of the team.
yeah, Sheraton's never really been a problem in basketball, I'd say.
No, they're not. They're not really a basketball school.
And then that Friday's good. It's Clark.
Clark bested us both times last year. Heartbreakers both games.
Yeah.
But
But with the squad we got now, I could see us pulling ahead this year. I could see us winning this game.
yeah, I mean it's a bit up in the air, especially when you play those road games. But hey, don't count us down. I know we have it in us to beat them. It's if we can execute our plan. Know what I mean?
Yeah. If we get that our demon motions going to perfection, maybe. And depending on how big, how physical their guys are this year, it really depends because we got Drew Chance again. He's
Oh yeah,
a
Drew Chance, top 10 returning player in 2A this year.
absolute unit.
So after Clark, we have Centerville at Centerville. Probably biggest game of the year, just because it's Centerville.
Just because it's Centerville.
We get pretty hype, at Centerville. It gets pretty outrageous there, stuff that shouldn't be repeated on the podcast, but
Exactly.
we're pretty passionate about the Centerville game. But that should be a win. They graduated.
Brody Tuttle. Or no,
Nope,
not yet.
not yet. I think last year they graduated Sawyer Wardlow, but that's about it. Can't really think of anyone else off the top of my head. But he was starter, starting senior. That's always bad to lose starting senior. But even like us, we lost most of our offense. We lost Jackson Pence at a big man, Garen Grinstead as a guard. We lost D-Rob to a transfer, Drew Robinson. He's up in Knoxville now.
Yeah.
And graduated CJ Ratliff, another pretty good guard. But yeah, I like the guys we got now. A lot of kids in our grade stepping up. Yeah, as my dad saying in the background, bunch of dogs. Some juniors who didn't get a lot of playing time last year stepping up. Yeah, I like the guys we got. I think we can really run the table this year.
And EBF is one of the oldest rivalries in, you know, it's the oldest in Iowa history and up there in national history for school
Yeah.
rivalry.
Centerville,
This
right?
is Centerville, yeah.
Yeah, Centerville. Football, we got the Battle of Highway 5, one of the longest running rivalries in Iowa and in the nation. It's a pretty well renowned game. But
And
yeah,
the track record for that has not been in Albia's favor for a
no,
couple.
we haven't been good in a minute, but it's tough to once you're good at football and you got one losing season, you just keep on losing. It's crazy.
It's a spiral into madness.
Yeah, it's really a downhill spiral. But after Centerville, we got Newton. I don't know about Newton. These schools up north are kind of hard to figure out.
We're Newton on my calendar. It says Cardinal.
Oh, well, I'm looking at the varsity bound schedule. Just I got to pull it up on my computer.
Oh, I'm looking at the calendar Archer sent out.
No, but it says here we got Newton at Newton. I don't know how that game's gonna go. Because those up north games are hard to figure out because you don't really know what to expect, really. Because you can either win or lose. It's weird.
Newton's. If you look at Newton at a athletic school, it's up there. It's
definitely
way up there. They produce athletes like no other school. I mean, their football team. If their football team washed everybody. They were 7-0 going on to week 8 in their football program, and then barely lost one of their games, and then won 2 amazing games that were conference games, nail biters. But my uncle, he went to Newton. He knows that he was an all-state linebacker from Newton. They produce athletes.
Definitely
crazy athletes.
All those schools up near Des Moines produce insane athletes. It's crazy. It's crazy how they're all in that one area.
Yeah,
like 5A and 4A has got to be like the best football in Iowa. Like just off of pure talent, that's where it's at.
Especially Valley, man. Valley's crazy.
But yeah, if we're gonna skip these scrimmages, we got a scrimmage against Ottumwa and Carlisle in Ottumwa. I think I don't know if that's JV or not, but yeah.
If it just says JV and varsity, then it's just JV and varsity. I asked Archer about that earlier.
Yeah, it doesn't say on bound. It just says the varsity games, I assume. But out of those 2 scrimmages, we have Davis County in Albia. Again, another game we should win. Davis County they're not really like good at anything. I assume we're not gonna have anyone from Davis County listening to the podcast, but hey, we're rivals, so I can say whatever I want to. Yeah, but they're not really, the best like athletically like round school. They're just kind of like mid, like in all the sports they do. Like they lost to Central Lee in football.
That's a statement.
Yeah, that's rough. But yeah, game we should win against Davis County in Albia. And then we go to Mount Pleasant. We lost to Mount Pleasant last year, so I don't know how that one's going to go.
That's you know what I see?
What?
There's something really funny on this calendar Archer sent out for New Year's Eve, December 31st. We actually have practice.
That's crazy.
8:30 to 10 a.m.
No way. That's crazy.
Hey,
I don't see EBF doing a practice on New Year's Eve, huh? Huh? Where you at, EBF?
Where you at?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It was a close game against Mount Pleasant last year, I'm pretty sure. So again, if we can run the table, I know we got the guys to win. It's just executing. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. But after Mount Pleasant, we have another huge game against EBF in Albia. Yeah. I think we're going to win that game. Just the home crowd. I think we got the best student section in the South Central Conference easily.
I'm going to be real. a couple games, the student section may go a bit far.
Yeah, like
From experience, there were some young like 8th, 7th graders that may have overstepped just a bit.
no, yeah,
And
they're bound to do that. It's just that's just how they think. Like they're not even at a JV level thinking; they're just at junior high thinking.
yeah, which and I don't want to get into details, but there were some comments in there that were outrageous and should not represent Albia in any sort of way.
No, no. I mean, we get outrageous at the Centerville game, but like I think, yeah, junior high kids just take it too far, and they shouldn't even be there. Honestly, it's high school
Like
kids.
it's a high school game. It should be for high school kids only.
Yeah, like like why don't you guys go like get together and make a junior high student section? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But after that, Sheraton again.
Game we can win at Sheraton
At
doesn't
Sheraton.
matter. We're still gonna run that table.
Exactly. Going to be the same outcome as last year.
And Clark, at Albia again, it's just gonna be like the EBF game at home. We're gonna run the table. We're gonna be loud, and we're gonna win.
And then we get Centerville at Albia.
Really? It's not on Varsity Bound. It says Montezuma.
Oh, I'm looking at the 20th.
All right. But yeah, that's probably right. You probably got the most accurate schedule.
Yeah, so Centerville at home, that's
That's pretty much just lock it in at that point.
lock it in. If we get upset there,
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I don't want to go to practice the next day if we get upset
Yeah.
there.
There'll be some, let's just say, a lot of running. How about that?
There will be more than 16 touches.
Oh yeah. There'll be no free throw shooting from anyone. They'll just be running.
And then next game would be Cardinal.
Oh yeah, Cardinal, new addition to the South Central Conference. They are not good.
I'm surprised we didn't play them in football.
I think it's just the whole district thing. Like every 2 years the districts get changed, so we're still in that tough district where we're at.
Yeah, I feel like if Williamsburg and Albia were switched that year, we'd probably have a playoff run.
Yeah, because that Williamsburg district is just too easy for them because their only real opponent in there is like maybe Centerville and possibly Mid Prairie, but that's about it. Because
Well, if you look
you
at the
you play EBF Central Lee. I can't even. Is that all the teams in their district? Because I
Davis
feel
County.
like Davis County, yeah. You don't really got any real opponents in there, so it's just giving Williamsburg pretty much just locking it in for them to go to the playoffs. Like not like they already aren't, because they're one of those football schools that's always going to be good. Like they're really good.
But if you look at the playoffs, they beat Centerville 35-0, I think.
Yeah,
So I don't even think Centerville's a challenge for them.
yeah. Centerville did run the table though in the postseason for football. Beating Monticello was pretty big, and then beating Des Moines Christian first off the bat was crazy.
Yeah.
And beating Monticello, who is a heavy favorite to go pretty far into the playoffs, yeah, that's pretty huge for them. But getting bounced 35-0 by Williamsburg is tough. But you gotta expect that with such a good team. I think that weren't they they were like second in 2A at some point probably.
They were up there in 2. At one point they were first.
Yeah. Spirit Lake was first for a while.
I think Spirit Lake ended at third, but were leading at first for a while.
Yeah. But yeah, it says this next game up is Montezuma. I don't know what the actual calendar says.
Yeah, it is on the 26th. It is Montezuma
At
at
Albia.
Albia. It's only a JV1 and varsity game though at 6 p.m.
Yeah. I don't know. Schools like that are weird where they don't bring a JV2 team, like small schools, I guess.
Yeah. But then after next day, Friday the 27th, it's going to be Davis County.
Yeah, at Davis County, which is a game we can win.
Very easily. Very easy
Yeah,
game right
very
there.
easily. I don't know how I feel about Montezuma because those small schools that are really good, like really sneak up on you. Like last year we played Moravia and they took us into overtime, but they did hit a lucky shot. But they still hung with us to even get that shot. So I don't know. The school's gonna be sneaky, so watch out for them.
And then next week, 30th, is
Fairfield.
Fairfield at Albia.
Yeah. Last year we played them. It was our pink out game. I remember it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that JV2 game at Fairfield was some shenanigans, let me tell you.
Those were that is the
Some
worst
some
officiating.
crazy calls were happening. Like,
Dude, that got
the
that
score of the game was like 20-16, but it was just a whole lot of shenanigans.
it was a whole lot of shenanigans. Like, it was so bad that Ryan Little like stormed off the court.
No, Ryan Little.
Stormed off the court, out of the tarp. He was gone for a minute, had to cool off, then came back in.
Yeah.
Played a great game.
Oh yeah, Ryan Little, great player. He really uses his height to his advantage. You know, he can really be used as a weapon. You know, at any level. He'll definitely be utilized at varsity level.
Yeah, you can already see it. So the practices that we've saw that he's he's using his height even on Grant, and Grant's 6'3".
Yeah,
He's a tall guy. He's a big dude, but Ryan just he bodies him every time.
I think Ryan could definitely be like a Luke Judy for us. You know, like that really tall guy that just dominates in the paint. And then we got a bunch of 3-point shooters. We could realistically, win a conference. With our kids in our grade developing. It's looking pretty good for the future.
He just has to watch that temper of his, because if he goes off, gets ejected from the game, that might. So after that, it's Knoxville at Knoxville.
At Knoxville, dude, it doesn't even have Knoxville on here. That's crazy. But yeah, Knoxville conference opponent. They got our transfer junior, Drew D-Rob Robinson, who was a starter for varsity last year.
Yeah.
So that might affect Knoxville and might give them a slight advantage. But we definitely can beat them. Any other games? It says we got Ankeny Christian on the 6th of February.
Ankeny Christian for varsity JV1, yep.
Yeah, Ankeny Christian, they're not Pella Christian, okay? They're not those guys, Pella Christian's a good school. They're always going to beat you. Pella Christian's always going to come and beat you because they're always just going to be better than you somehow, some way. But Ankeny Christian is like one of those bad Christian schools. Like varsity beat them pretty good last year. So again, I think we're going to beat them.
So after that, it's all varsity practices until playoffs.
Playoffs, yeah. Last year, first round Centerville, easy win. And then getting bounced by EBS. Still got a bad taste from that game. Definitely looking for some revenge. 2 big games, one to start out the season and one right in the middle, where playoff seeding is very crucial, in our conference.
Yeah.
So that game could probably give someone the edge, heading into playoffs.
Yeah.
But I definitely could think that could be the battle of the SEC right there.
You could definitely tell all the players that played that game, they heartbroken. They knew they should have won that game. They knew that
because they knew they're better than them. Because we had improved so much over the season that by the time second round came for playoffs last year, we were better than Eddyville.
And you can tell, like, there's just the morale drop kind of carried into their other sports that they played to finish out that year, especially the seniors.
Yeah, definitely.
Besides Garcher.
Garcher the GOAT.
Garcher the GOAT.
Absolutely. Yeah, that about wraps up the basketball season review. Should be a good season, should be a lot of fun, especially at the JV level.
Yeah.
Just a lot of shenanigans and beating on teams, so yeah, that about wraps it up for the basketball.